Alright, so we got the moon in Virgo, aka what is Virgo? Virgo is basically the Virgin Mary. Basically, what that means is a birth, something new to a birth to everything that you get involved with. This is dealing with routine, this is dealing with patterns, this is also dealing with that Mercury too. Feel me? The way we think and communicate, the way we analyze the details, the way we get practical, the way we get organized, the way we be more mutable, adapting to new ways of how to come about in the world. That's dealing with that mutable, aka Virgo. You know what I'm saying? So when the moon is in Virgo, actions dealing with organizing, being practical, being a service to somebody. These are the actions that you should basically foretake in yourself, especially with the moon with just leaving Leo. Or you can find out or analyze the details of how you is doing things or basically being practical in your way or basically being in pursuit. And of course, today is Sunday, which is the day of motherfucking the day you're supposed to self express yourself, the day you're supposed to worship thyself, the day you're supposed to be putting in all the work and all the time with yourself for me in some way, shape, or form. Now, these are the opportunities that you're not supposed to be passing up for me. This ain't the time to basically be getting lost into other shit. This is the time to basically self-express yourself. So of course, when that situation done with the moon in Virgo moves to moon in Libra, then you would understand that you was planting good seeds throughout these couple of days, and of course now we in the moon and motherfucking Libra, but basically we relating in partnership. So this is time to plant good seeds and shit, or be there with somebody where you can start a relationship, good terms or good commitment shit. Also, it's a time to basically remove any containments or contaminants. Clean your motherfucking room, clean your motherfucking house, clean your motherfucking car, get organized, feel me? Get situated, feel me? You know, Virgos, they don't like being dirty, they don't like being messy and sloppy, feel me? They like to be very organized. Shit gotta be very neat. When shit ain't neat, they get very critical in their way of thinking and shit. They get all over the motherfucking place. So of course, even when we got the Sun in Sagittarius, it's pretty much also like they opposite planet, their opposite aspect for me. Because you know, Sun in Sagittarius, you like to look at the big picture, you like to expand, you like to grow, you like to basically get about there. Feel me? You don't really care about the details and shit. So of course, this is gonna be a very hard time for Sagittarius and Pisces, depending on how you're planting fruits and planting seeds going on this day. But of course, when we got the moon in Virgo, you're gonna be feeling the need to basically clean up, feeling the need to basically be practical and be organized and basically be very detail oriented and analytical with how you express yourself and shit. So of course, the energies that you're gonna be basically portraying and dealing with today too. So of course, you're gonna be looking at the mistakes you made or the mistakes that you don't want to make, and of course, you're gonna be in a circumstance situation of, oh, I know it all, or you may just be in your mind contemplating this shit. For me, try not to do that. And of course, when we got this duality, is basically the big picture. Also, basically analyzing every aspect, and getting lost into these concepts and these things of that nature. So it's a time to basically get to work, get the business, and get very practical and very deep down into what you need to basically do. Get up off your ass, of course. Yeah, we living in them times, them crazy times, them ending times, but don't let that shit be the reason why you sit back and just contemplate on these things. For me, you need to act out on these things. For me, Sun is in Sagittarius, you need to expand, motherfucker. Feel me? Cause the moon, sun gonna be in fucking Capricorn soon, where shit hit hard. Feel me? Hard as a motherfucking rock. Feel me? And if you ain't taking care of your responsibilities and duties and obligations, then that shit gonna bite you in your ass. Especially when you got Pluto playing in that mix. Feel me? It's a time to basically step up, get serious, and stop fucking around. Feel me? Time to chase your dreams, your goals. This is about you. Feel me? You're supposed to use these planets as your bitches. You're supposed to use these alignments and these conjunctions and these squares as these things as a learning process. Because every day is a motherfucking learning process. And when you're not learning, then something ain't gonna be right for me. So you want to make sure you learn. You want to make sure you stand on your p's and q's. You want to make sure you standing on business and getting down to details. But yeah, we about to get into these energies. So we got the sun, trine, and moons. So this is having the courage to shine versus being isolated. So this is a natural talent. So if you got this is a natural talent where you feel the need to basically push out your faith, your confidence, and shine this and express this on people, places, and things. Feel me? Don't stay in a small magnitude. Get your ass up and shine. And of course, you got this to relate to people and to no matter what the circumstance situation is. When you have an opposites attract, feel me? This is time to get your ass up there and shine and basically push out. Feel me? Don't stay isolated. Then we got the Sun square Neptune. So this is basically deception, and this is over fantasizing and trying to be noticeable. You need more grounding. You need to be more practical and shit. Also, you need not to be too alienated. For me, it's one thing you can also get caught up into deceptions. Maybe you ain't had the father figure in your life. Maybe you ain't have someone that was there to basically mentor you. This is the time to basically realize that, at the end of the day, you can't really rely on nobody but yourself. For me, and of course, your dreams is always gonna come true as long as you believe in it. But of course, you gotta have somewhere, some place to believe in these things, or else these things ain't gonna manifest and shit in your life. So be very aware of that too. And we got Venus trine Neptune. So this is visionary beauty. This is also a good natural talent, so but you can find somebody that you can relate to, find somebody that you can have a balance to, where you can just come together and be like, we can very work something out. But you may go to the extremes of overexhausting yourself and shit, because you may be too fanatized about your relationships. And of course, this could be a hard aspect too when things don't play out to your favor, or when you don't see perfections in certain ways and shit. So you may be in a circumstance situation where you might want to be in a relationship, especially with someone that has money, or you may be in a circumstance situation to basically fantasizing or dreaming about these things. But these things can really manifest. But everything starts with you first. For me, you can't just be daydreaming about this if you ain't got yourself right internally. So it starts with you first. Because remember, what's on your mind is what you attract. And what kind of aura that you carrying is what you're gonna attract from others. So always remember that shit. But you always gonna get hit with the opposite, no matter what. Opposites attract. Also, we got motherfucking Jupiter conjunct Saturn. So basically, this is flair. This is dealing with balance and trying to have a framework to build and basically push out your experiences in life. For me, so we're gonna be going through a whole lot of experiences and shit, a whole lot of changes and shit. But you gotta make sure you building, you being basically standing on business, because our spirituality come down to existence to this motherfucking earth. So of course, when that big conjunction hit with Jupiter and Saturn on December 21st, 2020, which I'm gonna make a video on about that shit, then you would know what to do. Then you would realize that you know what you came here to do, and you know what you need to basically take seriously. Don't get lost up into the motherfucking illusion of this motherfucking flesh. You made this flesh, but of course you utilizing this flesh to go through experiences in your life. So when you bring your spirituality down to existence, and you play out in these natures, everything go gravy and shit. Feel me? You don't even need soup. You got the gravy, and everything is basically what you need to basically put it through. And of course, when you staying focused, when you staying strong and on your motherfucking goals, you pushing forward, you aiming high, everything gonna go smooth and gravy. For me, gotta be very practical though. You gotta have consistency. Consistency is key for me. If you ain't consistent, then motherfucker, what is the purpose of the sun and the moon being in the sky if you ain't gonna use that consistency to gravitate towards your keys and your goals, so where you can unlock motherfucking doors. So it starts with you. Also, we got motherfucking moon square Mercury. So this is like the R. Kelly say, my mind's telling me yes, my heart saying no. So of course your mind can go this way, your heart can be going this way during this time and shit. Cause of course that's moon square Mercury. The moon is in Virgo and Mercury is in Sagittarius. These are opposites, and also this is a learning aspect too. So of course your mind can basically be saying aim higher. Your motherfucking moon, your heart can be like saying, oh, well, we gotta start here first. Feel me? It's just, remember, everything starts with you. Feel me? Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, but don't pretty much shoot too high. Feel me? Learn how to utilize it one step, one day at a time. It's about what you're doing today. Fuck what's gonna happen tomorrow. You may not see tomorrow, but what you're doing today is always gonna count. Because when you do leave this body, when you do leave this flesh, what you was doing today is gonna reciprocate on what kind of experience that you're gonna be birthed right back into. So if you was putting a lot of good energy before you die, and you was in a good emotional state, you're gonna be in a good emotional state and a new experience when you get birthed out. But when you was in a shitty experience or a shitty mentality or a shitty aspect, this is what you're going to basically be reflecting when you come back into a new flesh, a new domain. Or you may come back here into a shitty circumstance situation. So everything starts with you. Everything starts with you. Remember that shit. And don't be into the circumstance situation of saying, oh, I had too many expectations, but I ain't do this to do that. For me, you just got to be in the vibration of already having and already accomplishing. Once you do that shit, everything else is going to play out into the spectrums and fall right in your motherfucking lap. But you got to have faith. You got to have strength. You got to have mortality. You got to aim high. Also, you got to learn how to utilize your aim lows. So everything starts with you. Never get mad at nobody but your motherfucking self. Also, we got motherfucking Moon trine Uranus. So this is having a friendship. You're having a change in your home environment, or you may go through a lot of changes or a lot of conflicts with your family members or someone that you interact with, or you may have a conflict as to where somebody just may be playing loud ass music, or you may be in a circumstance situation in a neighborhood that you don't want to be in during this time and shit. But remember, your mind is always gonna get you out of these circumstance situations. For me, you just gotta have hope and faith and courage. For me, if you don't like living here, if you don't like being here, time to change shit up. If you don't like the circumstance situation that you're going on, motherfuckers playing music on your motherfucking ear, tell them motherfuckers, yo, this shit gotta stop. Something gotta give. For me, don't just sit back and basically be lost into space and shit and just pondering on these things. Motherfucker, get up and act. For me, if you don't get up and act now, then motherfucker things is just only gonna get worse. Motherfuckers gonna keep walking on your ass like a dog man. Motherfuckers gonna just keep doing whatever they wanna do. Motherfuckers just gonna keep smoking their bogeys and leaving on at your front door until you say, yo, you know what? I had enough of this motherfucking shit. You motherfuckers gotta clean up. You motherfuckers gotta take care of your responsible motherfucking abilities. This ain't my responsibility to be clean up after you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers need to get up off your ass and go fucking pick up these smoke bogeys that y'all was smoking in and put these shits in the motherfucking trash. You motherfuckers better take this shit into consideration. Real shit. Real motherfucking shit. Then also we got Mercury trying Chiron. This is I should have never. This is you gonna be in a circumstance situation where you may be going deep into your thoughts and on hidden thoughts or discoveries of saying, you know what, I should have never texted that bitch. I should have never fucked that bitch. I should never got involved with that bitch. Or I should have never got involved with this nigga. I shouldn't. For me, you gonna be in a circumstance situation where, yo, I should have never did that shit. I would never trust again. For me, but this is a learning aspect and shit. So you can't really sit here and just be like, for me, you just gotta go through these experiences and be like, you know what, I would never do this shit again. So this is basically dealing with that Mercury trying run and shit. So you gonna basically be being in your mind and shit. And you might come into a circumstance situation and saying, you know what, I should have never said nothing. You know what, I don't think this shit gonna work out. This is the type of mind state that you're gonna be on during this time. But remember, your mind creates your reality, so you gotta understand whatever's on your mind gonna motherfucking manifest. So you better be very careful what's on your motherfucking mind. Make sure you got some positive shit on your mind, not no negative shit. Also, we got Jupiter conjunct Pluto. So basically, this is destruction for me because you know Pluto comes through and destroys shit. Saturn builds shit. So you gotta find your new ways of building with your life, new ways of building in this world, and new ways of coming up with new changes and transformational states. For me, you're gonna go through some uphill battles and shit. But at the end of the day, Pluto is here to say, okay, you went through that yesterday. What you gonna do today to make this day better? Saturn gonna be like, okay, cool. I see that this ain't work, but I ain't gonna carry this guilt with me to tomorrow. I'm gonna just try to turn this guilt into ways where I can basically manifest and grow versus and also having nourishment and care during this time, and also realizing that you are a builder. You are a builder of your reality. Nobody else is a builder of your reality. For me, you just got to take this power because everything was given to you inside of you with these tools and everything. So you got to utilize this shit and express this shit and start motherfucking building, start grouping, start growing. For me, growth is key. For me, that's why we got the green behind us. So if your ass ain't growing, then something not right. You getting lost. You getting basically overwhelmed with shit that was holding inside of you and shit. And then the moment you keep allowing this shit to stay inside you, it's gonna transform. It's gonna burst into ways that you wouldn't expect it to burst. To circumstance situations of saying Pluto gonna just come through and destroy shit. Leave your ass in the dark. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances. I don't give a fuck if your ass was in a car. I'm gonna transform this shit now. What the fuck you gonna do? You might get into an accident. You might crash. Your shit might blow up. That's the motherfucking type of time that Pluto gonna be on. And Saturn ain't gonna do nothing but just build. Feel me? So these planets is encouraging you, telling you at the end of the day you gotta build, you gotta come together, use both. Don't just use one aspect and try to get over on the other side. Nah, ain't no getting over with that shit. Feel me? You just gotta start building towards shit where you wanna be seen in life. Also, we got Sun conjunct Mercury. Damn, what the fuck? I'm all over the motherfucking place. Mercury, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. I'm all over the motherfucking place. I'm all over the motherfucking place. Yeah, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. This is going through experiences and changes and also growth. Basically going to expansion Also going through circumstances, situations of how we can see ourselves grow and having faith and courage in life and shit during this time. I think I did that shit though. And then we got the Sun conjunct Mercury. So this is shining. This is shining faith, shining light on your faith, on your mentality, and on your environment. So it's a good time to basically go out there, express your faith, express your hope, and of course, be there for other people. That's where you want to see goodness into them, and not lead them astray into basically getting left into blindness and shit like that. You want to make sure you seeing other people, places, and things, and stepping up into their natures and shit like that. Also, we got Mars square Pluto. So this is dealing with violence, chaos, extremes, changes going on in the world and shit, and also circumstance situations. For Philly, I'm gonna use Philly as a representation. You seen the niggas in Philly was going crazy. You seen the nigga cutting his hair in the street. The nigga was still cutting his hair. Feel me? He ain't let nothing stop him. So you either gonna put yourself in a circumstance situation of being in that vibration of okay, I see a whole lot of shit going on, but I'm still gonna basically be working. I'm still gonna be grinding out here. I ain't gonna let that shit phase me. I ain't gonna let that shit stop me. Versus just getting caught up into other violence and other shit that's not gonna benefit you. So you gotta pick and choose on this Mars square Pluto. This is the ability to transform your passions and put them into towards ground and put them into more taking ambitions, taking on responsibilities and basically putting your energy towards positive shit and not putting it towards negative shit. This is transformative in anything that was traumatized or midlife crisis and shit. Or it's gonna be a good time to basically talk about these things. Or come to a group to where you can just come to agreements and say, you know what, we shouldn't be thinking about this negative shit. We should be thinking about the positive outcome on how we gonna get the fuck up out of here and get into that new mansion. You know, just big dreams, big ideas like that. Also, we got motherfucking Sun trine Chiron. So basically, this is feeling the need to basically have two other wills and to basically possess your willpower, dealing with ways how you can be seen. So you may be in a circumstance situation of holding back, afraid to express yourself, afraid to put yourself out there in the opening, scared of what other people may think about you. For me, this is a good time to overcome your fears and kill that healing trauma and shit, and just basically get your ass out there and express yourself. What the fuck is you holding on to? What the fuck is you holding back for? What the fuck is the purpose of being in this physical flesh? If your ass ain't gonna express yourself, if your ass gonna be scared to step up to the motherfucking plate, you created this motherfucking body to be out here into existence. So if you ain't expressing yourself in some way, shape, or form, then your ass might go back. Your ass need to go back into purgatory and go hide behind the motherfucking hide behind the flesh, aka no flesh, aka just be a spirit floating around. So you gotta pick one. You gonna be a spirit in the body to basically bring changes, or you gonna be a spirit that's not in the flesh and just hide behind strangers. So you gotta pick one, dealing with that aspect. Also, we got Saturn. Yeah, I said that. But of course, we about to get into the houses real fast, and then we're gonna get into the motherfucking signs. So of course, when you got Virgo in your first house, you're gonna be dealing with personal values, personal circumstances, and situations where you need to be taking care of your personal issues and personal affairs with people, places, and things that you relate to. Feel me? This is a good time to basically start doing that right now. You don't want to wait till motherfucking the moon get to a motherfucking Libra. You planting bad seeds and things not playing out to your perspectives. So that's what you need to be looking for. And of course, when you got Virgo and Aries, this is uneasy relationships, and this is expectations and challenges that people, places, and things may put too much grips and too much handles onto you to the point where you may just go to over extremes and just overworking yourself. But motherfuckers be like, yo, this person can do it. This person got this and shit. But of course, they doing all this shit expecting things from you. But at the end of the day, they ain't here to basically help your ass. So be very careful and very aware of these things and just putting your neck out there for other people, places, and things. Make sure you putting yourself first before anything else. And you try not to go to the over extremes of basically projecting this onto others. Because others may misunderstand your perception too. And if you got a moon in Aries, you're going to be receiving these influences from other people, places, and things, expressing this towards you in some way, shape, or form. But try not to put yourself in a circumstance situation of eating too much that you can't handle during this time, and try to like have an equilibrium during this time and shit like that. Second house, this is basically valuing your this is pretty much organizing things that you value or what you can value into the world. Trying to basically be practical with these. This is also a trine, so try not to go to the over extremes, going out of control and shit, because this can put you in a circumstance situation where you may overindulge too much to the point your ass may have a health issue that you may have to encounter later on too. Also, Taurus, this is having self control and not getting caught up into laziness, and also having balance. So balance is key dealing with the circumstance situation, feel me? Because you may go to the over extremes. You may go to the over extremes of helping somebody. You may go to the over extremes of basically valuing something and shit. But you may not be getting the same back. But even though you don't really care for this, but you gotta be careful, motherfuckers trying to put you in circumstance situations of deceit. Motherfuckers may be using you during the time, so try not to put yourself out there and shit. Feel me? And if you got a moon in Taurus, you're gonna be feeling the need to basically act out on these natures and shit. But be very careful and shit, not to go to the over extremes, because you also got issues with your throat. Of course, Aries got issues with the head, so you may have issues. You may have headaches during this time, Aries, and of course, Taurus, you may have issues with your throat this time, especially if you've been planting bad seeds. Feel me? Because remember, if you don't act out in certain natures, things start to become an uphill battle, and you can exhaust yourself and put yourself in predicaments and circumstance situations of on a shoulda, woulda, coulda. These can play out on your health, so watch out for that too. If you got Virgo in the third house, you gotta be feeling the need to basically organize your environment or valuing your environment. Try not to put yourself in a circumstance situation of being too preachable and just being too out there and shit, because it's gonna basically put you in circumstance situations of people may be throwing too many ideas and concepts your way in order for you to basically carry on too much. Try to look at things one at a time and shit, and you will be alright. Also, Geminis, try not to put yourself into a mental exhaustion during this time and shit. Try to be more down to your health. Even though you got the ability to multitask and do things out of precautions, try not to do this with your mind, because this can overexhaust you and put you in a circumstance situation of receiving anxiety or overwhelming yourself and shit. So you don't want to put yourself out there, Gemini. For me, try to clear your mind, organize yourself, do some little samba, do a little mental meditation, clear your mind, empty your mind and shit, because you may be taking on too many responsibilities on this time. Of course, with the sun in Sagittarius, which is your opposite sign, you may be all over the motherfucking place, so you don't want to basically do this. So this is a learning process for you Geminis. It's a good time to learn and be very casual on how you dealing with other people, places, and things. If you got a moon in Gemini, you're gonna be receiving the influences of other people having mental exhaustions and shit and things of that nature and shit that may be trying to portray themselves towards you. To be very careful, or they may be trying to preach their way into your life, or basically get them into gossiping during this time. So be aware of that shit too. Also, we got the Virgo in your fourth house. This is being more organized with your private matters, your private life, your private home and shit. Try not to put yourself in a circumstance situation of taking on too many responsibilities or opportunities to basically pick on other people's communications or interactions during this time and shit, because it can overwhelm you and overexhaust you too. Feel me? Even though this is an opportunity for you, feel me, you don't want to put yourself out there and shit, feel me. This is your emotions can be going one place and your heart can be going one place. So try to have balance and equilibrium during this time, because you may be taking on too many responsibilities. You may be going to the over extremes of basically nurturing too many motherfuckers. You may just be opening doors for everybody coming during this time. Try not to do that. Also, Cancers, this is an opportunity to take work, health, and joy into an enjoyable perspective. Feel me? You may be taking on too many responsibilities, but look at life like it's pretty much like a butterfly and shit. Feel me? Try not to over extreme yourself or over exhaust yourself. Go to the extremes of doing too many or taking on too many projects during this time. Just have an environment where you can just have freedom and have ways where you could just sit back and be like, you know what, this is working well for me. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Everything will be gravy. If you got a moon in Cancer, you're going to be receiving this influence from other people, places, and things during this time. So, yeah, watch out for that. Also, we got motherfucking Leos. So this is basically organize the way you utilize your self-expression, and of course through and don't going through over analyzing with your expression. So Leo, pretty much you're gonna be dealing with unsureness during this time if you was playing bad seeds, unsureness on how you express yourself, your energy, and of course your energy need to be at flow. For me, whatever you do, you need to always be in a circumstance situation of always analyzing the details or organizing ways where you could basically better perfect yourself. Even though you're a fixed sign, you like to be fixated in your own ways of expressing yourself. With this moon in Virgo, this is basically mutable, being a service to others. How can your service, how can your expressions be a service to others during this time? For me, you gotta act out more into the Virgo natures to basically better pursue yourself. For me, it's one thing you might love getting all the recognition and shit, but for me, try to at least share somebody else's recognition during the time. They will appreciate you. For me, you may also get good fortune for doing this. Also, for me, even though you like to be self-centered and shit. For me, try to loosen up and basically act out on the moon nature so things can basically play out into your motherfucking favor. For me, because this is a conjunct too, so you may have a difficult time doing this or a difficult time adjusting with this moon in Virgo, but try to put yourself in a more mutable way, depending on what kind of alignments or what's in your charts. For me, because it's one thing to just have a sun sign, but you got a moon sign, you got a motherfucking rising sign, you got houses, you got planets, and you got motherfucking daily horoscopes that can play out these energies into your natal chart. So you got to be very aware of all the motherfucking ins and outs when we dealing with motherfucking energies and shit of that nature. Also, when we got motherfucking sixth house and Virgo, you're gonna be the prime example on how to basically be organized and be routine and during this time and shit. Sixth house, yeah, sixth house and six Virgo in the sixth house, yeah, yeah. You're gonna be the prime example of what we should be doing, what we should not be doing. So basically, this is dealing with a Virgo. This is choosing something that satisfy your needs during this time, whether it's work, whether it's routine, whether it's health, or organizing, scheduling, or basically being a service to others and shit. If this shit is basically what you love doing, this is what you need to basically stick with it and just do it. And this is also a conjunction, so basically, this is heavy influences pretty much on you. And of course, being at the Sun in Sagittarius, which is your opposite, feel me? This can be at eyes too. So what you need to basically be doing is basically perfecting yourself, perfecting your craft, and putting yourself out there where you can basically help others and just basically just sit back and just let things flow. For me, but if things is not going to your favor, that means you was playing bad seed or you in a circumstance situation where you need to find your way out of this motherfucking conjunction where it'll basically bring too much issues or problems or things of that nature where you can overstress yourself in ways where you can fuck up your health, fuck up your reproductive system, and bring anxiety or issues on this way too. So watch out for that. And if you got a moon in Virgo, you're gonna be receiving the influence from other people, places, and things, taking on responsibilities and going to the over extremes or worrying about their health. Also, yeah, I forgot to do Leos too, and Cancers. Yeah, Leos too. If you don't express yourself or change up for me, you may put yourself in a circumstance situation where you may have heart issues, heart disease, if you don't take on these energies. If you got a Cancer, you're gonna be dealing with your breast and your stomach. And Libras, this is basically Virgo falls here. So yeah, Virgo don't really mix and mingle with this aspect. So this is also a 30-degree aspect too, as to where you need to basically be very cautious and very aware. This is in conjunct. So you're gonna be when we got the Virgo in seventh house. This is organizing your partnerships and your love matters. So pretty much Virgos and yeah, Virgo and Libra. So basically, this is having a balance with your bonds and needing to work, and basically dealing with your wants and needs. Your wants and needs can be at odds, dealing with your relationship matters and things of that nature. I mean, you may be fantasizing over a relationship, or things may not be going your way during this time, so you may be getting too deeply rooted into that. And of course, Virgo falls here, so it's going to be very hard expressing your love matters, whether you with a person or whether you expressing your love matters back, or whether you trying to get this or receive this back from somebody. They may not be going the extra mile for you during this time, so you need to sit back and understand it's a way to either organize the details on whether you should basically be with this person or just annihilate this person out your life completely. So you got to come up with something as to where these things can benefit you in a way. Because of course, even though you're cardinal, even though you like to initiate ways of doing relationships and basically being a bond out there. You may be going to the extremes of just overworking yourself, and it's really not for a cause, because this motherfucker that you with don't really appreciate you or worship you like that, because they're not bringing the same enthusiasm right back at you. So you gotta basically be very aware of this shit. Be careful who you pouring your heart out to during this time and shit, because motherfuckers may not be in your best interest. Motherfuckers can be taking your kindness for weakness during this time, and you may not like that shit. Even though your ass may hold back onto certain things, you may not just fully develop yourself. You may just, or you may be in a circumstance situation where you just manifest people that just not fixable, people that's breakable, that's like pretty much fucked up and shit during this time. Libras, you may be manifesting people in your life like this during this time and shit. Or you may attract people that may be fucked up or just may need to get up off their ass and basically back onto their 10 toes. You may be in a circumstance situation where you may have to be fixing motherfuckers during this time, to the point you just go to the extreme of exhausting yourself. So try not to do that shit. Feel me? Try not to do that shit, because you need to get this kid back. For me, it gotta be balanced. You can't be doing all the work and motherfuckers not pushing their motherfucking edge. So yeah, watch out for that, motherfucker, Libras. If you got a moon in Libra, you're gonna be receiving other people, places, and things that's doing this. So you maybe have to be a mentor during this time to basically display this. Watch out for that shit. Also, when we got Virgo in the eighth house, is basically being organized and going over the details with things you desire or how you can value things in this world and shit. So this is also opportunity too. It's also a sextile too. So yeah. Also, when we talking about Scorpios, oh yeah, and the Libras, watch out for motherfucking kidney issues and shit, kidney problems and shit. You may overexhaust yourself too. And Scorpios, watch out for areas with the pussy and the dick areas and shit. For me, these can be at odds and shit. These can be very sensitive during this time and shit. Especially if you don't take care of your motherfucking health. Feel me? Gonna be all over the motherfucking places. Also, motherfucking Scorpios, this is feeling the deep need to change and take care of yourself during this time. Change any desires or any pursuits or any values and shit that don't really be valued or on value during this time. You may feel the need to change them and shit or switch them up. Especially if these things is really not worth it anymore. For me, you gotta learn how to let go. Moon and Virgo is telling you you need to take care of your health. You need to basically find ways to adapt to new ways of doing things and not holding on to too many possessions during this time. For me, it's a time to express yourself. For me, it's a time to basically change things up. This is a time to detox your mind, detox your desires, get rid of these things and shit, especially if these things don't really hold no value in your life. It's the time to get the motherfucking scissors, cut these bitches out. It's an opportunity to basically, this is an opportunity, so basically you can act on this and shit. It takes a little bit of effort and shit, especially if it's not a trying where it got a natural gift. But if you got the opportunity to act on these things, you need to do so now. This way, when motherfucking Libra, this way when the moon goes into Libra, your opposite sign, it won't be too much out of control. Things was already taken care of when the moon was in motherfucking Virgo. You was more detail oriented. You was more practical, and of course, you got rid of contaminants that was basically attached to your feelings and emotions. Even though you a fixed sign, you're fixated in your own ways of feeling and dealing with your emotions. Moon and Virgo is telling you to be more adaptable and shit. Even though it's your sextile, even though you are deep on dealing with psychology, dealing with the details and shit, looking at things, this is a good taste to utilize the Moon and Virgo to basically get rid of shit that don't really hold no purpose or value in your motherfucking life. And of course, if you got the Moon and Scorpio, you're gonna be receiving these influence from other people, places, and things. Also, when we got motherfucking Virgo in the ninth house, is basically dealing with organized morals and shit during this time. So also, this is a square, it's a learning process too, and this is also opposite energy. So also Sagittarius, and of course Moon and Scorpio, you're gonna be attracting other people, places, and things that's dealing with their deep desires or deep passion. And motherfucking Sagittarius, you're gonna be trying to find ways. You're gonna be learning how to develop ways to bring your convictions, your morals, your principles, and your dreams into existence. For me, it's one thing that you can stick to your routines and patterns and shit, but it's another way to basically holding on to these things to basically dream big actually bring these things down to existence for me. For me, for me, it's just all you got to do is just be more mutable. Even though you is mutable, mutable connects, mutable adapt, mutable changes to ways of coming up with new aspects and shit. This is a good opportunity to basically utilize your strong convictions and strong morals and purposes and stay key on to where you want to basically be seen in life. I mean, you can have trillions of ideas and shit, but you got to make sure you basically being more practical with these ideas, being more practical and more oriented, detail oriented on how you can perfect these things in your life. I mean, you can have a trillion and one ideas, but you got to learn how to basically perfect these things and bring these down to existence. For me, don't be all over the place. Don't be sloppy and shit. For me, learn how to be organized and be detailed and shit. For me, you can have all these ideas, but like how we gonna bring these ideas into existence? For me, so that's what you're gonna be worrying about during the sign Sagittarius. If you got a moon Sagittarius, you're gonna be receiving this influence and shit. Of course, watch for the hips and the thighs, Sagittarius. You might get Charlie Akers with your legs and shit. So be aware of that motherfucker shit. And also moon, when you got the moon and Virgo in the 10th house, this is being organized with your business and your career status during this time too. And of course, Capricorn is also a trine, so you're gonna have the natural talent to basically take on too many responsibilities during this time and shit. Try to have peace and inner balance and get a lot of rest, Capricorns, for me, because you could take on too many obstacles, too many people, places, and things, circumstances, situation, or responsibilities. You can go to the over extreme to exhaust your ass, and you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure you having the equilibrium and shit. You want to make sure you detoxing your body and taking care of your rest and getting a lot of sleep, Capricorns. Feel me? Don't fucking overexhaust your motherfucking self. Feel me? You don't have too much guilt and worry when you're taking on too much responsibility. You're like, wait, something ain't right. Yeah, listen, learn how to listen. Yeah, something ain't right, motherfucking right. Taking on too much responsibilities. Sit your ass down somewhere. For me, one at a time. For me, that's the one thing about Capricorns. No matter if it's the sun, moon, or motherfucking ascendant, they don't like taking on too many responsibilities. I mean, even though they will set themselves up to do it and get things done. For me, try not to be too mutable. For me, you supposed to be the boss. You're supposed to just sit back and tell motherfuckers like, yo, you need to take care of this shit. That's it. That's all. For me, everybody can just sit back and chill and relax. You are the manager. For me, you just gotta take care of your management status and your career. And that's it. That's all. You don't gotta take on too many responsibilities of doing this, doing that, being all over the motherfucker. Sit your ass the fuck down, get some rest. For me, just chill out. For me, take a break, take a relax. If you got a moon in Capricorn, you're gonna be receiving influence from other people, places, and things, taking on too many responsibilities and going to the over extremes to the point you be like, you know what? Maybe I should act on these things. So yeah, be aware of this shit too. Also, when you got the Virgo in the 11th house, this is dealing with organized groups, people, places, and things, surroundings, and unfamiliar. Also, Aquarius, try not to try not to have no fear of basically going to the extremes, because you know Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, so you may go to the over extremes of overstressing yourself, exhausting yourself during the assignment shit. So basic needs need to be displayed. Feel me? Try not to drift yourself into high ideas and shit to the point where you're not taking care of the minor ideas. Try to put yourself in a circumstance situation where you have grounding and taking care of your health during this time too, Aquarius, because your blood circulation, the way you breathe, and also your ankles and shit. You may be out there out and about and shit. You may be taking on too many responsibilities to the point it just don't favoritism you and shit. For me, you may just have to sit back and just chill and just reconsider what you need to basically be doing during this time. You don't want to be taking on too many issues, and of course, this is in conjunction. So you want to make sure you going through a learning. You're gonna be going through a whole lot of learning process on also dealing with the opposite. For me, also dealing with heavy emotions. Even though you don't tingle with the emotions, these emotions will be hitting you in drastic measures. So you don't want to basically be doing this, doing that, doing this time and shit. But try to sit back, be cool and shit. For me, try to cut out anything that don't put you in a circumstance situation. Just have grounding and try not to go to over extremes during this time and shit. Get a lot of rest, sleep, pill. You know what I'm saying? Don't be popping no pills. Just be cool. Even though we about to get into Pisces next. Of course, if you got a moon. Oh yeah, and of course, if you got a moon in Aquarius, you're going to be receiving influence from other people, places, and things. Being exhausted, taking on extremes, and just coming up with ideas in terms of knowledges of being overexhausted or just losing hope during this time and shit. So be aware of that. Or other people stressing this time during these things, and you may feel the need to basically nurture and care for these people. So yeah. Also, last but not least, and of course, when you got that moon and when you got that Capricorn status, watch out for knees issues and shit. You may be taking on too many responsibilities and shit. You may be taking on too many aspects and shit. Shit can grasp towards your knees and to take you out your motherfucking knees, your kneecaps. Watch out for that. Pisces, watch out for the feet too. Feel me? And also, when we got the Virgo in the 12th house, is basically be more organized and more detail oriented with your visions, your dreams, and your goals in life. So pretty much, when we got this is a 180 degree, so this is basically an opposite. This is an opposition. Opposites attract. You know that. And of course, when we talking about visions, we talk about dreams, we talk about Pisces. We about to get right into this. So you could be going through a whole lot of shadiness during this time, Pisces, especially with your love matters and shit. Also, dealing with reality, your energy may be low during this time and shit. Feel me? And reality may just be feel like it's very blurry during this time and shit. And you may feel the need to basically nurture and care for others, people and things. But of course, when it's your turn, motherfuckers not here to do that. So be very aware of these things. Try not to be caught up into this being deceived during this time. Motherfuckers will deceive you. Motherfuckers will use your kindness for weakness during this time, Pisces. So also, you need to have a lot of faith and a lot of courage dealing with humanitarian goals, whether you saving the planet or basically saving the underdogs. Get your ass into circumstance situation where you can just be like, you know what, this is my goal. This is where I set out to came here to do. You need to just go for it. Feel me? Just act in your nature, be very creative and find some talent to where you can basically express yourself. And just basically use your platform to where you can basically speak up and just save others and shit. It's very needed during this time too. If you got a moon in Pisces, you're gonna be attracting other people, places, and things that may be basically trying to either nurture you, care for you, help you out, or basically have shadiness or dealing with, or you may have to be a mentor during this time. Or you may feel the need, or people may feel the need to be a mentor during this time towards you, moon in Pisces. So yeah, and also be a humanitarian towards you. So yeah, be aware of these influences and play out these aspects. And of course, these are the energies of the moon and motherfucking Virgo. So actually, be very practical, be very strong, and stay focused and stay committed. And that's it. That's all. For sure. I love y'all.